Since President Joe Biden backed out of his re-election campaign, Democrats across the country have quickly lined up behind Vice President Kamala Harris. Indiana Democrats are no exception. The party pledged its delegates at next month's convention to Harris earlier this week. Ethan has more on that.
Harris spoke in Indianapolis Wednesday at the National Convention of Zeta Phi Beta, a historically black sorority. The visit came 2 days after she launched her presidential campaign, despite Indiana's reputation as a reliably red state.
These extremists want to take us back, but we are not going back. We are not going back.
Current and former Democratic office holders have endorsed Harris's campaign. Former Senator Joe Donnelly will lead Indiana's delegation to the Democratic National Convention in Chicago next month.
I have great confidence in her judgment. She has traveled the world in working with our allies. She's ready on day one to assume the responsibilities of the presidency. That's why I've endorsed her.
Monroe County Democrats followed their state-level counterparts Tuesday.
It has been an intense few days of emails and phone calls from state leadership to district leadership to county leadership. 4
locals are going as delegates: Bloomington Mayor Kerry Thompson, City Clerk Nicole Bolden, Councilperson Sidney Zulik, and IU undergraduate Emma Schreiberg. In some respects, Harris is a clear choice. Former vice presidents such as Richard Nixon, George Bush Sr., and Biden himself all went on to the White House.
Incumbency is huge in politics. If you're the current mayor, there's a really good chance you're going to be the next mayor. And if you can't be the incumbent, being the number 2 in command is the next best thing.
But unlike them, Harris never won a presidential primary. Some political commentators have criticized the party for what they characterize as an insider pick. Indiana Democrats pushed back.
It's going to be a convention of Hoosier delegates, delegates elected by the people of Indiana, not by any elites, not by any insiders, but by the people of Indiana.
We've lost track of how candidates are picked for president. We still use an electoral college system. Political parties have nominating conventions to tell the public, here's our candidate from our party, or our 2-party system. And so I think what we're experiencing is a little bit of a growing pain.
Democrats, including Donnelly, praised Biden's decision to withdraw. After a poor showing in his debate with Donald Trump, polls showed him trailing the former president.
Polling organizations have asked, if you had to choose between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, who would you choose? And she does around the same as Biden, a little bit worse. So it's not a huge amount, but it's about in the same ballpark. She's not clearly ahead.
But Henry says he thinks that will change.
A pinpoint in time, a poll in time, doesn't tell me much other than it is going to be a close race. And I think as the Democrats select our nominee for vice president in the next few weeks, we'll see that open up a little bit, where people are going to look to whether or not they want to go backwards or go forward in the next 4 years.
Harris faces an uphill battle in Indiana, where a Democratic presidential candidate hasn't won the vote since 2008. For Indiana News Desk, I'm Ethan Sandweiss.
There's been a lot of misinformation about if Harris can be on the Indiana ballot since she wasn't on the primary ballot as a presidential candidate. But Indiana law says candidates on the general election ballot need only to be certified by the state party chair by September 10th to be on the ballot.